Hello and welcome to another video with the Practice Nurse Mentor. It's been a while since I've done a video. I've been a bit busy and had a few little things that have needed my attention a little bit more than this. But here I am. And in this video, what I really want to talk about is self-care. So I know that this is sometimes something that's bandied about a fair bit and probably sick of hearing about it sometimes. Oh, you must practice self-care. But I think it's actually a really important issue, and the more mentoring that I do, the more support that I give to fellow nurses and student nurses, new nurses, all of that sort of stuff, the more I realize how important it actually is, and that I think we take the term self-care for granted. And so for this reason, I really wanted to do a video and talk a bit about self-care, how you can do it, maybe some little myths about it or misnomers about it, what it is and why it matters, and how you can incorporate this into your life. So let's get to it. If you're new to the channel, please feel free to have a look at some of my other videos. And if you like the kind of content that I am producing, then please like and subscribe. And that helps to build my channel. And I also really love feedback. So if you've got some ideas on some content that you would like to see me do, then please, by all means, pop a comment in there in the videos, whichever video you happen to be watching. Yeah, let me know what you think. So tonight, I'm coming to you on a Sunday night. I'm in my pajamas and I don't care. So Sunday is normally my self-care day. And when I was in the shower, just before I started doing this, that's what got me thinking about doing this a bit more, because I know that it's something that I've really had to work on doing. And I know that it's something that lots of people need to work on doing. So that's kind of what's inspired me to get my bum into gear and do another video. So I guess let's talk a little bit about, okay, let's define self-care. Okay, so basically this is engaging in anything, any activities to preserve, maintain, and improve your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Okay, so, or health and well-being, I suppose. It's a pretty broad thing, but it's basically anything that you can do for yourself to make you feel better. Okay, it doesn't have to be a big thing, and I think that some of the myths, so let's talk about those, about what self-care is. It's a little, sometimes it's a little woo-woo, sometimes it's a little bit of tree hug and hippie shit. As a tree loving hippie myself, I can take that, but a lot of people think, you know, that like it's not really in their realm of, you know, stuff that they would normally think about doing. So it doesn't have to be out there. It doesn't have to be little, you know, esoteric spiritual type things. It's whatever you need it to be. In the past years, it has been increasingly validated and talked about. I think this whole notion of self-care, maybe, you know, the whole COVID 3-ring shit show on fire kind of perpetuated the importance of thinking about self-care a bit more, and if anything, it's probably actually highlighted the burnout, the repercussions of crap self-care or being overworked and not appreciated and all those things. So I think it's kind of made it a little bit more mainstream, if I can use that term, and maybe it's sort of brought things a little bit more back to ourselves, back to our center. Another thing too is that a lot of people think it has to be something done in a certain way or at a certain time, or it's a certain thing that has to be done. It's a certain, or some kind of limitation onto what self-care actually is. Bullshit. It is what you need it to be. It's what yourself needs. It's what feeds your soul. Okay? So I want you to say this out loud to you, sir. To you. I want you to say this out loud. Self-care is what I need for me, for my well-being, for myself, to feed my soul. Okay? Say it loud and say it proud, because it's all for you, babe. It's all for you. Okay? It doesn't give a shit. It's not for anybody else. And I'm going to apologize. Well, actually, I'm not going to apologize. Actually, I'll probably swear a lot because I get really passionate about this. I'm old enough now. I'm in my mid-50s. I'm a menopausal woman. God, I don't know if I have to explain that any further. But I've been over 30 years in healthcare, in nursing. I've had my own business in healthcare. I've been there and fucking done that. Okay, so I say this with wisdom and experience, life experience as well. So I can appreciate that not everybody's going to be where I am, and we will talk about this a little bit more as well. But I guess the main thing that I want you to take from this whole video, it's about you, okay? You, yourself. Because if we don't practice self-care, we lose ourselves. You will lose yourself. And as someone who has lost themselves, I can tell you, it's not a place that you want to be. It's not a place that you want to visit. It's not a place you want to live. Okay? So, okay. This is a very raw and completely unedited and unscripted video. I probably should have said that at the beginning, but if you've watched a few of my videos, you will already know that, because I don't know how to edit. So here we are. Okay, so before we talk about doing self-care, let's talk about why it matters. Okay. And I might be stating the obvious, and I'm really sorry if you feel like I'm not preaching at you, and I'm not sort of talking down to you, but I just want to make it very clear why this matters, okay? And I think the number one thing, and we've all heard this, according to the statistics, quite a lot of us are already feeling this, burnout. Now, I'm not going to focus too much in this video about talking about burnout. I have been thinking about doing a video on burnout for quite some time. If that's something that you would like to hear me talk about, please let me know in the comments, okay? Because it's been on my mind. I would like to, so I probably will. But if you really want me to do a specific video on burnout, then let me know, and I will definitely do it soon. But burnout, chronic stress, whether that's of any kind, chronic emotional, physical, spiritual exhaustion. Okay, all of these things are burnout. I'm not going to talk about specific stuff, but anyway. According to some of the data that I looked up, and I did just write this down, so I'm going to read my little statistics because I looked this up. So depending on where you look, 70 to 84% of all healthcare workers, and this is not just nurses, okay, but doctors, any healthcare workers, report moderate to severe burnout. Moderate to severe burnout. Fuck. Okay. According to the APNA survey a couple of years ago, 1 in 4 primary healthcare nurses are considering leaving in the next couple of years. 1 in 10 of those will be leaving in the next 12 months, 3/4 of us said that we are exhausted and stressed or felt burnout, and 2/3 of those also said that they have an excessive workload. Nurses and midwives are disproportionately represented by the statistics on burnout. We're probably the biggest group of people who suffer the worst burnout. Nursing has traditionally, even for like as long as I've been a nurse, had a reasonable attrition rate that I think I read quite some time ago. Don't quote me on this one, but it was a while back, that there was like 1 in 7 nurses won't be working in healthcare within 5 to 10 years of graduating. Something like that. It was pretty crazy to think that you've gone through all that trouble of becoming a nurse, and being a graduate nurse and stuff, and then to not stay very long in the profession afterwards. Sometimes nursing doesn't have a very good reputation, the whole nurses eat their young thing. We hear this all the time, that student nurses, graduate nurses, all that sort of stuff are not treated well amongst their peers when they are new and learning. How quickly we forget what it's like to be a new nurse, huh? I personally think that's deplorable, to be nice. So yeah, I think we've all been there. We've all been new. We've all had to learn things we didn't know before. And I think it's quite frankly fucking disgusting that other nurses treat people like shit because they're new and they don't know something, and they make them so scared that they can't ask the questions. Or they put patients at risk because they're not mentoring them. They're not helping them in any way. So I'm going to get off the soapbox on that one because that will take me down the rabbit hole. Makes me mad. Okay, so why else does it matter? Let me get back on track. Why does it matter? So apart from, okay, yes, the burnout situation is really fucking real. Physical health, it is like well documented, the effects of chronic stress, the chronic increased cortisol levels, all of that sort of stuff, the impacts that it can have on our immune system, poor sleep and the ongoing effects that sleep deprivation and sleep debts all have to us, cognitive function issues because of all of those things like stress, and we know like inflammation from chronic stress and all this sort of stuff, and body aches and pains and headaches and all of the physical things that come with stress. It is for real. We have psychosomatic responses to this stressful situation that we find ourselves in all of the time. Then it starts to impact on things like our lifestyle, because we might then have some unhealthy coping mechanisms. So things like, excessive alcohol intake or other pleasurable things, because we want that dopamine hit. We want to feel good. We don't want to feel like shit. And so, we do that. We might have a disordered eating of some kind. We have a decreased in physical activity because, quite frankly, we're bloody exhausted. Who's got time? I just want to go home. I want to have a glass of wine. I want to go to bed. Been there, done that. It can then start going on to your relationships as well. And I absolutely have experienced this myself, that you bring that shit home with you. What happens at work doesn't stay at work. It comes home with you. If you are getting to the point where you are crying before you've got to go to work in the morning, and you're crying when you get home from work in the afternoon, and you can't engage with your loved ones because you're stressed, that you are repressed in whatever way, shape or form, and that you're hanging by a thread and just trying to keep your shit together. You've got no time for your kids, no time to be a mother or a wife or a lover or whatever, and even a friend, So it absolutely has a massive effect on your relationships. And then, like, a lot of these things are all intertwined. Like, if you did a little pie chart, there'll be all overlaps here. So your mental health stuff, obviously, we have increased rates of depression, anxiety, low self-worth, and in some extreme cases we have increased risk of self-harm. Self-harm doesn't have to be emotional cutting or something like that. It can be excessive use of alcohol, it can be overeating, it can be those things. I consider those things self-harm because they're not good for you, but you're doing them anyway because you need to feel good, because nothing else is making you feel good. So we've got this whole thing about mental health, and I think the self-worth thing, huge, like ginormously huge. Circle back. In our workplace, in our work, we can start to lose motivation. We can start to lose our compassion and our care factor. Our productivity reduces, like all of that sort of stuff. Maybe we're not clear and we're finding it hard to sort of focus on things, that kind of stuff. We're finding it harder to, balance things a bit better as well. I know that, like in the past, I've kind of like, I'll just do the bare minimum. And it's like, oh God, you see someone's name come up on your next patient and you think, oh God, I do not have the capacity to deal with this person today. And so you might be a bit short, you might be a bit snippy. You might not express enough compassion throughout your task, or, whatever it is that you're doing for them today. And that's not fair, really, because it's not their fault, and they still come and expect to have the good health care with you. So that really starts to affect your work. If you're someone like me that has like a really strong work ethic and good moral code, all that kind of stuff, when I can start to feel that I'm not giving 100% with my interactions with my patients, I know that I must be getting a little bit wobbly. There probably other signs, to be frank. There's probably other signs. But I think I think the personal stuff, we are often, we're in this profession, in any, I suppose, a healthcare profession, we tend to put ourselves last. We tend to be in this profession because we're the kind of person that innately wants to look after somebody, that wants to care for people, that is our personality type, that is our modus operandus. So we do, add that into, if you are a parent, a mum or a dad, or you are a carer for someone, then you kind of add the extra complexity in on top of that we put ourselves low on the list of things to take care of. And so, I think this just compounds all of those things about what I've just mentioned, and why it is so important that the self-care is actually brought into your life. From that personal perspective, you might not be feeling like you're having much fun, that you're not having decent relationships, that you, if you're someone that used to be creative and liked art and craft and all of those sorts of things, then, or fit and healthy and all that sort of stuff, and you're finding that those things are not the same anymore for you, then it's probably a sign that you're neglecting some self-care. And I think too, even like our physical appearance can start to change. We might lack some nice healthy color on our skin. Our hair might change, our nails. We might not be taking much care in how we dress or how we present ourselves. It's just like the bare minimum effort. I'm personally not someone who goes to the hairdresser all of the time and all that kind of stuff. But I definitely have had times in my life where, I was going through a difficult time with my marriage and all that sort of stuff. And, he was about to leave me. And I was like, why? What's so bad about me? And I think one of the things that I looked at, and this was just me being self-critical, but was that, oh my God, I saw photos of us and stuff like that. And I'm like, look at yourself. I wasn't wearing I was just wearing very, very daggy clothes. I haven't seen a hairdresser in like 3 years. Didn't do moisturizer, didn't do skincare, didn't eat well, didn't do anything. I was smoking cigarettes and stuff like that. So none of those things were serving me well, you know. Not to sort of say that that's the reason he left me. That's not true. But just reflecting back on like myself and going, okay, what can I do about me? Because this was now going to be about me and my daughter, that I had to take care of us, and I really have to take care of me, because here's the thing. I want this one up in neon lights in your brain. Put it up on wherever, put it on your mirror in your bathroom or your dressing table or wherever. But I forgot what I was going to say. Self-care. Self-care is all about you. And if you don't look after you, you can't look after anybody else. Okay? If you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else either. All right? You'll be no good to looking after the kids. You'll be no good to being a carer for your elderly mum or whoever. You know, you'll be no good to support your friends, go to work and support your colleagues, give your best with your patient care, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't look after you, you can't look after anybody else either, if things go downhill. So yeah, that's a really important thing. So let's talk about now what things we can do. All right. And I'm going to break this up into, I guess, big things that maybe you would do infrequently, and then small things. So things that you could do frequently, like daily or weekly or whatever. Because it can be all of those things, and it doesn't have to be big stuff all of the time. I think that's another myth in a way, excuse me, is that it has to be this big grand gesture to yourself, that I'm doing self-care, jazz hands. It doesn't have to be that. No one else has to know about it except you. So big things. I suppose in a way it's the obvious, you know, like take time off, go away. Oh, my dog's, what are you doing, Coco? What are you doing? Do you want to come say hello? Oh, this is Coco. Say hello, Coco. Hey? She wants to jump into bed. No tongue. All right, I'm going to hop into bed. All right, in you go. She sleeps in my bed. I'm a mum. I'm a doggy mum. In you go. Oh, I haven't got the electric blanket on yet. Sorry, babe. Where was I? Okay. Self-care things. So big things. So things like taking time off. Now, you don't have to necessarily go away anywhere big. You don't have to go on some big, massive overseas trip. Just take some time off. You can have a staycation. You can just have a week off and just have a week of personal care and just spend time doing the things that you want to do. You can go away for a weekend. You can have a pamper day or something like that. Something a bit bigger that maybe cost a little bit more, have a little bit more forward planning and all of those kinds of things. Yeah, so though anything like that, I think that's good. They're good to just do, you know, if you want to do them once or twice a year or every few months or something, great. But I want to bring it back down to just the little things that you can do for yourself every day. And these are what I would probably call like little daily rituals, or little frequent rituals for yourself. So for me, my Sunday is my self-care evening. So I'll have a shower, I'll wash my hair. Sometimes I'll put like a little mask in it or something like that. Not so much at the moment because it's short, but back when my hair was longer, I definitely would do like a hair treatment or something like that. Sometimes I'll do my toenails or something if they need to be done. I will also, you know, do a mask. So I got some different masks and things like that that I will put on a Sunday night. Yeah, I might spend a bit of time doing some prep work for my lunches and things like that for work during the week, and make sure all my uniforms are ironed and stuff like that. But the rest of the time, it's just then about me. So sometimes I'll just put some music on and, you know, listen to some things whilst I'm just chilling. I'm big into, I'm a very, like, I suppose, a sort of spiritual type of a person. I have like, just like little like affirmation cards and things. They're not tarot cards, but I do have, these are one of my nice ones that I will have. Healing mantra cards. I love these. They're really simple. I usually have them on my bedside table, and I will just pick one out, and then I will just, maybe that will be something that I meditate on or something like that. So just has like a simple little saying on it. It does come with like a little booklet which will then guide you through some things to ponder and reflect upon. So I have that kind of stuff. I've actually got a few different sets of those depending what I feel like doing. Same kind of thing. I just like, well, you know, go ahead and pick a card out or something. And I like, these are like visually nice to me, and I like to just sort of reflect on that. I do journaling as well, so I will write stuff down. Maybe I'll pick out a card, and then I'll do some meditation, and then I'll do some journaling on it. But yeah, it sort of goes through, and it always ends with like a little mantra or something like that. Sometimes that might be, you know, something that I reflect on throughout the week, or it might be, and it's funny, you know, because sometimes I'll do this when I've got shit going on, and it's funny that something, it will come up, and it's almost like, how did the universe know that I needed to hear this right now? So often that happens. But anyway, if you believe those kinds of things, I do. So this works for me. But I'm also into like aromatherapy. Like I've got oil burners and all that sort of stuff, and essential oils, and you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm a very sort of a natural woman that has that like leans into all of that kind of stuff. But for you, and I also just, you know, like I make sure that I have lovely skincare. So I'm putting my moisturizer on every day, and it smells like sunshine, you know, like there's that aromatherapy element in it for me. So I'm inhaling it. My morning ritual is I get up, I have a coffee, and I have quiet. There is no sound in my house. I will sit, maybe if I might sit in my room with just the lamp on. Sometimes I'll sit, if the weather's nice, I'll sit out in my back porch and watch the sun come up, especially in the summer, and just listen to the birds, watch the sky colors change, have my coffee, slowly wake up, and just have that peace and quiet time. I need that. You know, I go and, you know, sleep over at my partner's house on the weekends and stuff like that. And that's not, it doesn't happen down there. Okay. He's noisy. He's a noisy bastard. And he just, and he just talk, or just there's a lot going on in the house and stuff like that. I don't have the quiet time there. So when I get back to my space in my place, then I get to enjoy my quiet space. So, but yeah, for you, it could be doing some gardening. It could be doing some art and craft stuff. It could be just reading. Like tonight will be, I'll have my mask on and I'll get my book out and I'll sit and read tonight after I finish doing all of this. And this will be my quiet time ready for work tomorrow, because I know I'm going to have a huge week. I'm a dirty smut reader. Not all the time, but I'm a bit of a fantasy reader. So yeah, to me, that's the escape. That's the escapism as well, that you're just getting out of your head and going into something else. So I like that. So it is whatever it is that you want it to be. Put some music on and just do some dancing while you're doing some cooking or something like that, while you're doing your food prep and boogie woogie in the kitchen and da-da-da. You're just letting yourself loose. You're, you know, releasing yourself from the shackles of the stress that is wound so tightly inside you. I guess the other thing, so basically, honestly, just whatever you want to do, you do. Go for a walk if you want to go for a walk. Go for a walk on the beach. Go pick up some seashells. Whatever. It's that back to that point that I made at the beginning. It's what you want. It's what you need. It's not what anybody else wants you to do or expects of you. And I think this is going to bring me to my next point: boundaries. Set them. And then enforce them. This is me time, okay? This is, no one's going to take this time away from you, okay? You have to learn to say no to things. And if you keep saying yes to things, what are you doing that at the expense of? So, you need, is that at the expense of your time? Is that at the expense of your well-being? The things that you're not saying no to. So set those boundaries. And if you have to tell everybody else in the household that from 7 p.m. on a Sunday night, this is me time, do not disturb, if you can. Or just integrate those other little rituals throughout your day, that you've got the nice aromatherapy, that you have something, some candles burning and all, whatever, incense, all any of those things. If you like them, then do them, have them, enjoy them, and let them feed your soul, because that's what those things do. Have some fresh flowers in your room every week. Have a nice new bunch. Go pick them out for yourself. You deserve it. Why not? Okay. And I guess too, like, being mindful of not like abusing that self time, like, oh, well, I'm just going to go for a massive shopping spree online. No, I'm not suggesting that you do that. Retail therapy can be nice, but also we need to be mindful not to extend that. Having a glass of wine or two, if you want to sit and have a chat with your girlfriend and have a debrief session, great. Catch up with your girlfriends, go out, see a movie, have a couple of cocktails, have a laugh. Great. But we're not going to be doing this to the extent where it's, becomes a detrimental things to your well-being, okay? But yes, blowing off some steam like that, perfect. If you want to go skydiving, go skydiving. Whatever it is that's going to help you decompress, that's what I'm suggesting that you do. But I think, as I said, that might be those big things. Like, I catch up with my girlfriends probably every couple of months. We go, whoever's free, we all get together, we'll do a lunch, we'll do a dinner. There's always some cocktails involved and a lot of gas bagging, and some pretty heavy debrief sessions. So, which is great. We have group chats and we're always talking about stuff, life stuff. And so, those kinds of things also nurture me, and I just value them so much. But yeah, so I think it just comes down to just finding those little things that you can put in throughout your life that are going to support you and your well-being, your health and well-being. I can totally appreciate that this is something that people will find hard to do. I'm going to be honest and say that it probably took me 20 years to start putting myself first. 20 years. I'm in my mid-50s now. I would say it probably took me till sort of hitting into my early 40s maybe, that I started to feel the push that I really needed to do this for me, because I was just so sick and tired of being taken advantage of. I was sick and tired of being hurt. So I can understand that as a younger person, if you're just starting out, or, young adult and just graduating from university, coming into nursing, all that kind of stuff. If you're someone that's coming into general practice, where it's a completely different world, I can understand that it's so hard to find that inner strength, to find that inner voice, to find that inner self-love, because and have that self-worth as well. So I think that I just had that innate little bit of it there, but I just didn't have the confidence to express it. I didn't have the confidence to demand it or enforce it. So it took a long time. And I think sometimes it comes with experience, like life experience. You've got to have been hurt a little bit. You've got to have been taken advantage of. You've got to have had your best friend stab you in the back or something. You've got to have had these things before you start to learn the lessons. Unfortunately, that's just the way life goes. So if you are a younger person or new to nursing, I just implore you to do what you can to embolden yourself and to just start with early with the good habits of acknowledging your self-worth, because you are worthy of respect. You are worthy of being acknowledged because of your education, your training, your experiences, your skills. You are worthy of respect all the time. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to not know everything. If someone says they know everything, I call big fat bullshit. Big fat bullshit. It's impossible. They just think they do. I'm learning all the time. I've been a nurse for bit over 30 years. I've only been in general practice since 2018. January 2018 I started. So I am still learning things all of the time. And I call upon my group of like colleagues. I call upon, the Facebook primary nurses care pages, all of these resources. I learn stuff all the time. I learn stuff from the people that I mentor. I learn things all the time. I learn things from my doctors. I learn things from going to seminars, all of those things. I'm forever learning. I'm a perpetual student of life and the career path that I'm on. So I think you need to be aware that you are going to be always learning things, and practice nursing is hard. How many times have I heard that people just, this has actually happened to me too, that you just get thrown in the deep end, that you just go, hey, you've just started and you've got to learn everything real quick. There's a lot to learn. And you are going to doubt yourself. 100%. You wouldn't be human if you didn't. But you are capable. You can do hard things. You can learn new things. And you can be respected for that every damn step of the way. Don't let anybody else tell you you can't. All right? Fuck them. As I said, I appreciate that not everybody's got that personality, and I understand that not everybody's got that confidence. And you don't have to obviously be as brash as I am. I wouldn't do that in a workplace situation. I actually just lied to you. I have done that in a workplace situation. They deserved it. Generally speaking, I'm very professional. I'm very professional. But do wrong by me, I can't be responsible for the fire that comes out. So, anywho, I've got myself off track again. Yeah, I think it just comes back down to that confidence building in yourself, and looking after you. And if you know something's not right and you've got the facts and you've got the evidence to say so, to prove it, then you are right. So you stand your ground and you advocate for yourself, advocate for your patients, advocate for your team, and just keep pushing, which is, it's a shitty thing that we have to do this, but unfortunately this is the nature of general practice. It is a private business world. From my memories of working in the hospital systems, private and public, it ain't any better in there either. So, yeah, we do cop the raw end of the deal a lot of the times. But the joy that we get out of working with our patients is quite often the thing that keeps us going. Because we sure as shit wouldn't be doing this for any other reason most of the time, because we know it ain't for the pay. So there you have it. I think I've waffled enough, and I think I've maybe expressed what I wanted to express. Please feel free to share in the comments section the kinds of things that you might do for self-care. And, you know, because I think it's really nice that we can support each other. I'm such a big advocate for doing that, that we're all a big team of people that do this job all of the time. And I just really value supporting each other. And that's why I started doing the Practice Nurse Mentor, because my passion is to support other people to, you know, hopefully enjoy this specialty field of practice nursing, because there's so much to enjoy. We just have to kind of get past some of the other crap. But yeah, supporting each other. So please feel free to pop some comments in, and share the video as well if you think that this information could be helpful for someone else to see. And of course, as I said before, if you want me to do a specific video on burnout or anything else in particular, also let me know. Okay, thanks guys for joining me on my Sunday evening session. I'm gonna go and put my face mask on, and then I'm gonna get back into my dirty book. So enjoy, and I will catch you again soon, guys. Bye.